Have you ever wondered why we always crave something new, something better, and never seem to be satisfied with what we have? Although he did not consider himself a philosopher, Marcus Aurelius's work has become one of the most important classical works on Stoicism. His Meditations contain a series of personal notes based on Stoic philosophy, including the acceptance of fate and living in harmony with nature. According to Marcus Aurelius, instead of desiring everything to happen according to our wishes, we should accept the universe and develop a flexible attitude towards the external world while maintaining a strict standard for ourselves. However, most of us crave a comfortable life and hope that the environment around us provides what we need to feel happy. We long for friendly relationships and dream of fulfilling aspirations, always hoping to stay youthful and avoid suffering. Often, we are dissatisfied with the bodies and talents that nature has bestowed upon us and find it difficult to accept our own weaknesses. In summary, we tend to have high expectations from life and the world around us, especially in today's age, while often lacking acceptance of the present reality. However, whenever we expect too much from the universe, the chances of disappointment increase. Despite our best efforts, we may encounter unreliable individuals, fail to achieve goals and dreams, or only partially achieve them, and inevitably face unavoidable challenges, ensuring that we will indeed confront old age. And when these inevitable experiences of suffering occur, we easily become puppets of the environment, relying on its sudden fluctuations to determine our mood. In his reflections, Marcus Aurelius often advises himself to calmly accept fate, to live positively despite any circumstances. This video explores why accepting the universe is a better choice than opposing it and trying to change it. 1. Acknowledging and respecting others' individuality. Imagine if someone made a remark or took an action that offended you or someone you care about. How would a Stoic philosopher react? Would they get angry or even resort to violence in response? Marcus Aurelius often reminds himself not to let any event disrupt his inner peace. In this case, you're being teased. However, does that teasing truly affect you? It only does so if you allow it to. Anger, violence, or sadness. These emotions are not caused by the teasing itself but by your own reaction. Marcus Aurelius wrote about those who speak ill of you. Don't let anything into your soul that could extinguish your inner peace. End quote. Dealing with others means dealing with the unpredictable and uncontrollable. Some people possess good qualities and morals, while others are wicked and lacking in ethics. There are those who work diligently and are helpful, while others are lazy and greedy. Some enjoy jesting, while others easily resort to violence. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes that even though people may appear arrogant, ungrateful, deceitful, and lacking in compassion, we all share a common human nature. According to Marcus Aurelius, human nature encompasses both beauty and ugliness, and he encourages us to accept people as they are and not let the wicked disturb us. He believes that we exist to cooperate, not to confront, an idea contradictory to nature. Although we may desire others to act according to our will, the reality is that each person has their own free will. Their actions cannot be controlled by us. We may influence them, but ultimately, they will speak and act according to their own will, no matter how irrational and foolish their actions may seem. Therefore, expending too much energy trying to change others is a waste of time. Instead, we should focus on other goals. That's advice from Marcus Aurelius. Don't spend too much time and mental energy worrying about others, unless it affects the common good. It will distract you and prevent you from focusing on important tasks. You will spend too much time and mental energy observing the actions, words, and thoughts of others, leaving you without enthusiasm and unable to concentrate on your own work. 2. Everything is temporary and easily fades away like shadows on the sand. In life, everything is temporary and easily disappears like a fleeting breath. Marcus Aurelius compares human life to leaves sprouting in spring, only to be swept away by the wind, making room for new leaves. He deeply acknowledges that empires, nations, and great figures of the past, despite once existing with great influence, ultimately become faint shadows in the flow of history, like dust and ashes. But like fading and falling leaves, we, as humans, also experience coming and going. Starting small like a dewdrop, we end with our final breath, often without realizing the closure. Everything is just fleeting moments. We exist on this earth only for a brief moment, especially when compared to the eternity of our planet, of course, not to mention the universe. As Marcus Aurelius emphasizes, let go of everything else and focus on the present, this fleeting moment. This is the only time we truly live. The rest has become the past or is yet to come. Our lives are so short, just a tiny part of the earth we inhabit. This moment, though small, is all we have, passed from mouth to mouth by people with limited lifespans, knowing nothing of the future and those who have long ceased to exist. End quote. For some, the reality of life's transience can evoke a sense of anguish. The sorrow stems from the fact that we begin life only to face death. Thus, some seem caught in life with a sense of despair, striving in every way to extend life beyond the natural bounds, seeking the fountain of eternal youth. However, all such efforts against nature are futile, for we have only a finite time here, a time often spent in the decay of the body. However, the transient nature of the universe also carries a positive aspect. Because nothing exists eternally, there is nothing to fear. Marcus Aurelius hinted at the importance of reputation when he wrote, "Consider how quickly all things are dissolved and resolved. The endless stream of time sweeps away everything, leaving no trace behind. The accolades, the applause, they all become meaningless and solitary. Those who praise us, they are truly just lonely and self-absorbed individuals. And all of this unfolds in a very small area on Earth, a grain of sand in the vast universe, where most of it is uninhabited." Recognizing how short-lived our lives are, we understand more clearly that there is no reason to worry about trivial matters, and we cherish the time we have even more. Furthermore, according to the perspective of Stoic philosophers, the brevity of life is also a reason not to waste time. Whatever we want to do, now is the most appropriate time to start. 3. Acknowledging and accepting misfortune. Even though we may wish and pray for misfortune never to come, the reality is that no one can avoid the dark aspects of life. Adversity is an inevitable part of human existence. When we try to fight against it, the result often leads to more suffering and disappointment as we confront things we did not wish for. However, humans often spend too much time and energy coping with fate, trying to resist the terrible things that may happen to them. When we encounter illness, financial loss, or are affected by bad weather when we expect sunshine, we often complain and lament, hoping for something good to come quickly. Marcus Aurelius did not accept this approach to fate. Instead of wishing for a life without misfortune, he encouraged us to wish above all for the strength to face challenges. This attitude is at the core of the philosophy of Stoicism, called the principle of control. There are things we can control, and there are things we cannot. So, it makes the most sense to focus on the things we can control. Or as Marcus Aurelius put it, to have the freedom to do as one pleases, as a free man, is not better than to be passively controlled by things for which one has no freedom, as a slave, or one who depends on the charity of others. When we place our happiness on external influences, we are losing control of our destiny. Imagine you are constantly worried that the person will leave you. And so, you spend time praying for them to stay by your side. However, according to the Stoic philosophy of the universe, all events in life can be seen as the intervention of gods or the intention of an immensely large source. Although some events may seem tragic, from this philosophical standpoint, they are considered part of a supreme plan. So a broken relationship can be seen as part of a supreme plan, and it seems like our prayers cannot change that. According to the philosophy of Marcus Aurelius, it is better to focus our prayers on things that we can control. As he wrote, "Start praying like this and you will realize. Don't wish for something to happen, instead, stop wanting. Not a way to get rid of him, but a way to stop and stop trying. Not how to save my baby, but how to overcome fear. Adjust your prayers like this and observe the results. We cannot control our partner's actions, but we can strengthen ourselves, building the courage to face a possible separation. We cannot prevent the ones we love from leaving our lives, but we can cultivate the ability to accept everything that happens and even embrace them as a natural part of life. If we embrace adversity, then even the gods cannot harm us, no matter what they may intentionally set in motion." 4. Welcome and accept change. Nature has long been steeped in change, as everything originates from it, and nothing in the world is static. Not only does the universe around us undergo transformation, we ourselves also change, just by observing the cells within our bodies, which constantly renew themselves until we succumb. Marcus Aurelius describes change as a natural phenomenon ultimately beneficial to the whole. We can liken the transformations we see around us to our bodies constantly replacing old parts with new ones. Though this may not be favorable for the inner organs, it is entirely beneficial for the body. Similarly, the environment around us also participates in an ongoing self-maintenance process, replacing old factors with new ones, always seeking the best possible conditions. According to Marcus Aurelius, this is part of the natural plan, and we should accept it because it leads to the good health of the world as well as the prosperity and abundance of Zeus himself. As we've explored the transient nature before, change holds a deeper significance. It's not just the temporary quality of things but a comprehensive process that transforms everything differently. The universe never remains stable in a fixed state but is always in a state of flux. Even seemingly unchanging entities like tranquil landscapes or sturdy rocks on the seashore are undergoing change, albeit perhaps less visibly, such as our lips when we speak or someone's posture when running. There is a remarkable diversity in how organisms and planets exist in this universe. From species living and dying within 24 hours like ephemeral insects to planets enduring for over 10,000 years like glass sponge reefs, and even those lasting billions of years. However, nothing among them is eternal. Everything undergoes change, and that change ultimately leads to their demise. Change is inevitable and essential for the existence of the world and life itself. As Marcus Aurelius emphasized, the world has nothing stable but change. Interestingly, despite our existence being reliant on change, we fear it. Many cling to situations, objects, people, and ideas, hoping they never change, longing for permanence. Yet, the changes they fear have already occurred, and witnessing these changes unfold is only a matter of time. When the sunlight shines, storms are not far behind, and as summer gleams, autumn eagerly awaits. Holding onto the present is like grasping water in the palm of your hand, hoping it will never slip away. Some things exist with a fleeting presence, while others fade slowly. What exists today may vanish tomorrow. The constant changes and continuous flow of life perpetually renew the world, much like how time always moves forward, endlessly renewing itself. We find ourselves like travelers on a river's current. Within that intangible space, let us cherish what is beside us, for nothing can guarantee perpetual stability. It's akin to watching a fleeting sparrow. We glimpse it for a moment, then it vanishes into the darkness of time. 5. Accept yourself. Accepting oneself often poses challenges for many individuals, especially when they confront natural limitations such as physical appearance, health vulnerabilities, or even the inevitability of aging and death. However, Marcus Aurelius encourages people to embrace the limitations of their bodies and be content with what they have. He reminds us to remember the nature of the world, the essence of ourselves, how we interact with the world, and that we are part of nature and need to live in harmony with it. Some may have stronger physiques, while others may possess superior intellect. There are numerous ways to initiate self-change, but ultimately, we are still constrained by our inherent nature. We may spend a lifetime focusing on our weaknesses, attempting to overcome barriers that our nature cannot surpass. However, alternatively, we can leverage our strengths and harness the abilities we already possess. Stoic philosophers emphasize that one of the unique characteristics of humans is the ability to reason. Unlike any other species on this planet, humans possess the ability to reason. This capacity enables us to transcend our primal instincts, our inherent brutality. Instead of being governed by passions, we have the ability to control them through reason. Marcus Aurelius provides an example of how he used reason to accept the world around him, with all its goodness and negativity, even though his primal instincts may have suggested otherwise. I draw inspiration from this quote: "Happiness exists everywhere, but each person finds it in their own way." For me, happiness is found in maintaining clarity of mind. It's not about avoiding people or what happens to them, but rather accepting and welcoming everything I encounter. I find joy in treating everything with the appreciation and respect they deserve. In conclusion, this is an attitude that humans can choose, thanks to our ability to reason. Our nature enables us to rise above primal urges and pursue a wiser path. Instead of being swept away by blind desires, we can acknowledge and understand that those cravings can cause pain. Rather than becoming prisoners of desire and anger, we can recognize that resisting fate only makes us suffer more. With an understanding of how everything operates, we can conclude that accepting external circumstances, things we cannot change, no matter how challenging, is a wise decision.
Thanks for watching.